Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about something we all do, but in a way that's, well, kind of an art form. We're talking about taking out the trash in Japan. We're going to use the official guide from Tokyo's Kita City as our map to explore how they manage waste with some seriously amazing precision.
So, you probably think your recycling system at home can be a bit confusing, right? Like, does this plastic lid go in? What about this pizza box? Well, get ready, because we are about to dive into a system that takes sorting to a completely different level.
Okay, picture this. You just finished making dinner and you've got some leftover food scraps.
And your hairdryer finally gave up the ghost.
And that old bookshelf you've been meaning to replace? It's time for it to go.
And you've just finished a bottle of water. Now in a lot of places, that's maybe 2 or 3 different bins, tops. But in Kita City, every single one of those items has a specific path. It might look crazy complicated at first, but trust me, there's a logic to it all. So let's break it down.
Here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the big picture categories. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of what burns and what doesn't. After that, we'll hit the core of the whole system, resources, and we'll wrap up with how to handle those really big, awkward items.
You know, the first thing you really have to understand is the mindset here. In Kita City, they don't really call it waste, it's resource management. The whole point isn't just to get rid of your stuff, it's to carefully separate everything so it can be reused, recycled, or disposed of in the safest, most efficient way possible.
So everything basically gets funneled into these 4 main streams. You've got your combustibles, which are picked up twice a week. Then you have resources, think recyclables, and those are picked up once a week. Now look at this, non-combustibles only get collected twice a month. And for anything oversized, you have to call and make an appointment. Just looking at how often things get picked up tells you a lot about the city's priorities.
Let's start with the big one, the most frequent pickup, combustibles. This is your burnable garbage. It's a massive category, and in the official guide, it's all color-coded pink. But, as that title suggests, the if it burns rule has some asterisks.
So what exactly goes in here? Well, it's pretty much anything that can be safely incinerated. We're talking about most of your daily stuff. Kitchen scraps, paper towels, tissues. Also things like used diapers, old clothes that are too worn out to donate, small rubber or leather items, and even yard trimmings like leaves and little branches.
And here is a fantastic example of one of those asterisks. Food scraps? Yep, they go straight into the combustible bag. But something like used cooking oil? That's a definite no-go. You actually have to solidify it with a special powder or soak it all up with newspaper or a cloth before you can throw it out. It's all about making sure the incineration process is as clean as it can possibly be.
Okay, so what about everything that doesn't burn? Well, that leads us to our next category, non-combustibles, which are color-coded blue. And like we saw, these are only picked up twice a month, which means you're definitely going to need a separate bin at home just for this stuff.
This category is a real mix of things. It includes stuff like broken plates or glasses, metal forks and spoons, and aluminum foil. It's also the place for small appliances, as long as they're under 30 centimeters. So think hair dryers, irons, that kind of thing. Plus, this is where you put old batteries, light bulbs, and even broken umbrellas.
Now this next part is so important, and it really shows the level of care in the system. If you have anything sharp or potentially dangerous, like a broken piece of glass or an old kitchen knife, you have to wrap it up securely in newspaper. Then you put it in a tough bag and clearly label it with the word kiken, which means dangerous. It's all about keeping the sanitation workers safe. It's absolutely non-negotiable.
All right, now we get to the real heart of the system. This is the part that takes the most effort, but it's also where the biggest impact is made, resources. I mean, just the name itself tells you everything. This isn't garbage, it's valuable material that's destined to become something new.
Let's just take the everyday plastic bottle as our case study. Getting it ready for collection is a very specific 3-step dance. Step 1, empty it out and give it a quick rinse. Step 2, take off the cap and peel off that plastic label around the middle. Step 3, crush it flat. Every single step is there for a reason, to make recycling as smooth as possible.
But hold on, here's where the attention to detail just blows my mind. That little cap and the label you just took off, they don't go in the same bag as the bottle. The bottle is a specific type of plastic, PET. The cap and label are considered general plastic containers and packaging. Sorting it this precisely at home is the secret sauce. It prevents contamination, and it's why Japan's recycling is so incredibly effective.
And this same careful prep work applies across the board. You can see here, newspapers and cardboard have to be flattened down and tied up with string. Cans, glass bottles, and other plastic containers all need to be empty and rinsed out. The number one rule is simple: no food or liquid residue, period.
And this is exactly what Bundle Securely looks like. Things aren't just tossed into a recycling bin. You've got these neat, tidy stacks of cardboard and newspaper. It just makes it so much easier for the collection crews to handle and transport, making the whole process more efficient from start to finish.
All right, so what about the really big stuff, the things that have no chance of fitting into a regular bag? Well, for that, we have our final category: oversized and special items.
In Japanese, it's called so-dai gomi, and it's all about the 30-centimeter rule. That's about 1 foot. If any single side of an item is longer than that, boom, it's oversized. And you can't just drag it to the curb. You have to actually call the oversized waste center to schedule a pickup. Then you go to a convenience store to buy special disposal stickers, and you slap those on the item before collection day.
And this is a really important distinction. There's oversized, and then there's appliance oversized. The city will pick up things like an old bike or a desk as so-dai-gomi, but major home appliances, totally different ballgame. Things like refrigerators, TVs, washing machines, air conditioners, they're all covered by a national home appliance recycling law. For those, you have to contact the store where you bought it or the manufacturer and pay them to come and recycle it properly.
You know, when you step back and look at all these details together, you start to see that it's so much more than just a list of complicated rules. It's really a system of mindfulness. Every single category, every little step is a deliberate choice made to treat waste as a resource and a cut down on environmental impact. It's this massive, collective effort, and it only works because every single person participates. The system in Kita City really shows what's possible when a whole community decides to rethink its relationship with the stuff it throws away. And it leaves us with a pretty powerful question. What could change if every city and every one of us stopped thinking of our trash as something to get rid of and started treating it as a resource to be preserved?